Yeah, so every time, you delete a role or publish, etc., it's always written to a log and you can restore at any particular point in time. So, for
Okay.
example, this one's lab accounting.
Mhm.
We want to restore that role back into the system. So we can just restore it. And it writes obviously to the log the fact that it's been restored. So if we go back in here
Mhm.
and we just refresh this page and we look in here, we can see that role is ready to be published. Okay.
Mhm.
So essentially, everything that is deleted, published, exported, restored, it's all written to a log. Yeah, you can even publish again from the logs, all the logs. Pretty cool, eh?
Yes, absolutely.
Here you can export the role again, so that will just basically create, like a physical uh, file which you can then import into a target system. So if we look in here and we go to downloads, there's your file all ready to flow. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you can import that now into your target system. Okay, if we go back into here, so the main features on this form, okay, are the fact that you can quickly see custom roles, you can delete custom roles and have a restore facility, and you can export single roles. So, I mean, I could just select this bad boy here, pin him, and export. And that will create the physical file and write to the logs. So everything's intact. Intact.
Mhm. Mhm.
Pretty powerful, eh?
Yeah, and these things are not native to 365. It doesn't give you these facilities.
No, no, these are all part of my
Well,
security module.
gotcha. Okay.
Um, you can also look at the Security Explorer.
Mhm.
So in here, for example, you could select a user, explore that user, and you can see what security roles that user has. You could
Mhm.
select a particular role, you could pin it, and it would show you um, all the privileges, all the duties, all the way down to the tables and the actual fields that that particular user can access. So if we select this guy, which is a duty, pin him, and it will show you all the privileges, entry points, and roles that is used by that particular duty. So that gives a security guy a lot of way to understand, the access that people have. Pretty powerful. We've got role analysis on here. I mean, you can select a role. I'm gonna select one that I've created for my customer in the UK, and if you filter, it shows you all the duties, the access points, everything down to what access they have. Okay.
Mhm.
Hmm. If we go to, okay, we've got user role assignments. So what roles are assigned to users? That's a common request by HR or internal audit or external audit. We can explore security roles or privileges. So if we're going to look at the security privileges, for example, we'll say, okay, let's have a look at this guy. So we can click there and we can see all the security roles that have access to that particular security privilege. It's pretty powerful. So out of the box, you can't get all this information very easily. It'd take you a long time to understand, all the relationships. Yeah. So that tells you the roles that use that particular duty. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a it's an entity relationship diagram on steroids.
Kind of thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like for example, a duty can be used in millions of places, and to understand, what privilege or what role is using that security, that duty, that security duty, it can take ages, and it's a pain for people. Okay, so you can assign temporary access. So, for example, I don't know. For example, we say Arnie as a user, we want to give him access to, I don't know, the auditor. So he's going to put the auditor hat on. Default is a month. Oh, sorry, where is Arnie? Arnie's here. Oh, Arnie's here. So default is a month, and it assigns that role to that user. So if we look at Arnie, he's got the auditor role. Pretty cool, eh?
And can
And
it
then
be reduced even further? So let's say they need access for a specific task. Let's say they need access for roughly 3 hours. Can that be done?
not really, but you could just put it for one day, So one day, yeah, not for hours, no, it's by days.
Mhm.
But you could just put it for one day. That should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can export custom roles here. You select your role, export. Okay, it's exported. Brilliant. Um, you can disable users who are not active in AD. Um, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here actually, really. So then you've got all your batch jobs. Oh, sorry, here you just got your counts. Top level counts, number of security roles, number of custom roles, privileges. You can see that's quite high. Duties. Now, the duties could be used across privileges, so obviously it could turn into millions of permutations, which it does. Um, so
Does it
we've got
suggest
batch jobs.
does it suggest to you like elements that would be interesting to look at, or suggesting that, for example, 30% of these roles are underutilized and it badges them together? Does it do any of this, or is it more of a mapping and then one by one the administrator starts to call?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the system administrator needs to know what roles need to be removed or collapsed, and that's why the security guys out there are paid quite highly, which is interesting because it's a complex. It's like a science, really. Um, you know, um, and that's why my module can help the system administrators, specifically on security and access and providing the requirements to the auditors as required, really.
So in essence, it also helps reducing the need for external consultants to do this role, to do this job.
Not really. Yeah, internal people can do it with this tool. I mean, Saffron Housing Association have a guy, two guys internally who do the security, and they use my module. Now, without this module, that piece of work or that work is quite complex and can consume a lot of time, and it's obviously open to error.
Yeah.
With my module, it makes life a lot easier.
That's another benefit.
Yeah, yeah, it's a benefit. It kind of helps people do their job, you know.
Yeah. And obviously, it saves money from both ends of the situation. So it saves money because you're reducing the fat in the system, and it
Yeah,
reduces the need for external consultants to do this role. So in essence, you reduce dependency, and you can have more power to the internal people to make sure that everything is in check.
yeah, that's correct. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's a powerful tool. I mean, we've got data monitoring, so basically this means you can set up what tables you want to track. So at the minute, I set up bank accounts. So if a bank account changes, like a bank IBAN, it writes to like a table. Yeah. a track table. So that's good, to help prevent, like fraud, etc. Segregation of privileges. This is very much similar to segregation of duties, but duties are kind of like the lowest level. So segregation of privileges are one level up. I'm not sure if you know about this concept, but basically what you do is, you define a first privilege and a second privilege. And if a security role has both of these, it would create a conflict of segregation of privileges. It could be mitigated, or the role has to be amended, or the combination of roles. So that helps in, prevention of fraud, etc.
But
Okay, I'm not going to go. Sorry,
let's
yeah,
use
go
a
ahead.
simple example. Let's use a simple example. In Microsoft 365, what is a distinction between a privilege and a role? Sorry, a privilege and a duty.
Well, that's a good point. Let me show you. So if we go into security management, okay, let's say, for example, look at a custom role. Well, actually, no, let's just look at one of these roles at the box. So you've got a duty, okay? So these are all duties, but a duty can be related to more than one role, which it is, but it can also be related to multiple privileges, yeah? Now, a duty, what is a duty? Okay. A duty is basically just like a, a name which groups to privileges and roles. It doesn't actually specify any of the access, but the privileges do. So if you look at a privilege here, for example, maintain sales tax codes, you can see what that privilege has access to. So it has access to all these menu items, and you can click on the one and you can see exactly what access they have. Yeah. Sorry, what access that particular privilege has. So it can read, update, etc.
Okay.
Does that answer
So,
your question?
so a duty could be a child of both a role and a privilege, but for a duty to be executed, it needs a privilege. It needs to be enabled through a privilege. Otherwise, it will be in a way just a definition of a task, the duty, but without the
Yeah. Yeah.
privilege being the umbrella of it with access, it means nothing.
No, that's right. It's kind of like a stub, really. But then you can, a duty has to be related to a privilege, okay? And then a privilege has to be related to a role. So that's the kind of hierarchy.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense.
It's a little bit complex. I mean, even hardcore security guys get a bit confused sometimes.
It tends to be. There's an element. I mean, you have to map it in your head and then you understand it. But yeah, it tends. It's not obvious. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, no, it's not at all. I mean, if we look at the security duties here, for example, and you select one and you click on it, it'll show you all the roles that has access to that. So sales manager, yeah. So if we look at sales manager, and I copy that, and we go back and we look in here, and then we could filter for that salesman manager, and then we can see the duties quite a lot and the privileges, yeah.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit, it's a mind twist, you have to get your head around it. Should I just stop the recording? Because I think we've covered, majority of it, haven't we, really?
Yeah, absolutely. If you think there's anything else, we can add it. But otherwise, cool.
Yeah, yeah. I